What if I tell you that there are 5 objects in your home right now that you feel guilty of letting go of? You walk past them every single day, and they're the real reason your home still feels cluttered. Not because you're messy, but because each one is tied to a different kind of guilt. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. So, today we're going to find 5 very specific objects almost everyone has at home, and I'll show you why they're so hard to let go of and how to finally move forward. And if you want help with this as you go, I also share a simple tool that guides you through it step by step at the end. Let's start in your closet. There is often one piece you never wear. Sometimes it still has the tag on it. And at this point, it's not really clothing anymore. It's a reminder of money spent, of a decision that didn't quite work out. So it stays, because letting go feels like admitting you made a mistake. And that's what money guilt looks like. But here's the shift. The money is already gone. Keeping the item doesn't bring your money back. It just keeps the feeling active. So instead of asking, should I keep this? Ask, what can this teach me? Maybe something about your style or your habits or how you make decisions. The lesson stays. The item doesn't need to. The next is gift guilt. Usually something small. A mug, a decoration, something someone gave you that just isn't really you. You don't use it, but you don't feel like you can let it go either. Because now it feels tied to that person. And letting go feels like rejecting them. So it stays. Even if every time you see it, there's a small moment of tension. But here's a helpful shift. The purpose of a gift is fulfilled in the moment it's given and received. The thought, the care, that's the real gift, not the object. So keeping something you don't use doesn't honor the relationship. So you can acknowledge the intention, appreciate it, and still let the item go. The relationship isn't in the object. The third type is identity guilt, and you will usually find it on a shelf. A book you feel like you should read, or something that represents a version of you you thought you would become. But you never opened it or never finished it. And every time you see it, there's this quiet message, you should be different. And over time, that creates pressure. Because it's not about the book, it's about expectation. So here's the shift. Your identity isn't defined by what you own. It's defined by how you actually live. That version of you wasn't wrong. It just isn't who you are right now. And honestly, you're allowed to change. So instead of asking, why didn't I follow through? Ask, who am I today? And let your space reflect that. The last 2 types, future guilt and memory guilt, are often the ones that take up the most space in a home. And as you listen, you notice what comes up for you. Most people recognize at least one of these items immediately. First, future guilt. Future guilt usually lives in a drawer, the so-called junk drawer. We all have it. Filled with cables, screws, random pieces you might need someday. And the thought is always the same, what if I need this later? It feels like being prepared. But often it's actually a lack of trust in your future self. Because if that moment ever comes, you will figure it out. You replace it, you borrow it, you improvise, you always do. So instead of filling your present with just in case, you can begin to trust that you will handle things when they happen. And a simple guideline here is the 20-20 rule. If you can replace it for less than $20 in less than 20 minutes, you can let it go. The mental space you gain is usually worth far more. And then there's memory guilt, the hardest one. It usually lives in a box somewhere you never open. Photos, letters, pieces of your life. And this doesn't feel like clutter, it actually feels important. Which is exactly why it's so hard. Because the fear is, if I let this go, will I lose the memory too? So the box stays closed. Not because it doesn't matter, but because it matters so much. But here's the truth. The memory isn't in the box, it lives in you. And when it's stored away and never revisited, it doesn't feel alive actually, it feels heavy. So instead of asking, should I keep this? Ask, How do I want this memory to live in my life? Maybe that means keeping a few meaningful pieces you actually see, or capturing the rest digitally. You're not letting go of the memory. You're choosing how it stays with you. So, if you look around your home now, you might start to notice something. These objects were never just objects. They were tied to emotions. And the reason it felt so hard to let them go wasn't because you're disorganized. It's because you're human. And once you see that, the process changes. You're not forcing yourself to declutter anymore. You're understanding what's underneath it. Your home isn't meant to hold your guilt. It's meant to support your life right now. And every object you release isn't just decluttering. It's choosing your present self over something from the past. You're not defined by the things you didn't use or you didn't become. You're defined by what you choose today, every single day. If you want help with this, I created the Guilt Reset, a simple tool that guides you through this exact process whenever you feel stuck on an item. You can try it for free in the description, and I would like to know which of these objects showed up for you. You can share it in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for listening.